What's up, boys and girls? The Gypsy back at it again. Up with another video, a prediction video. Obviously, for the fight that's coming up, I wanted to make a video for Canelo versus Benavidez, but since there's so much people talking about Canelo's gonna be ducking Benavidez, but that fight hasn't been made. There's no contract signed or whatever. But I feel like it's gonna be made after Canelo gets done with Ryder. Um, Not even sure when that fight is. I haven't even checked, but I know this one's on Saturday. AJ versus Franklin, and I'm pretty excited for this one, mainly because AJ uh, has picked the coach that I always thought. I won't say always. 2 years ago, I would say maybe about like when he was looking for not really 2 years ago, when he was looking for uh, a coach to fight Usyk, the second fight. This is the coach that came to mind, and this is the coach that I wanted to pick because of how Derek James has the work he's done with the Charlo brothers and Errol Spence. The style is, very perfect for someone like AJ to go with Derek James' disciplinary teachings. And if he does, I hope he's copying a lot off of Errol Spence. Um, Not the Charlo brothers, but Errol Spence, you know what I mean? And learning off to be a little more defensively sound, a little more durable because he's defensively sound. Because his chin is okay. Doesn't have the best chin, but he's got a decent chin for the heavyweight division. His defense is lacking, and we can see that. We've seen that in fights with Klitschko. We've seen that in fights with Takam. We've seen that in fights with Povetkin, where he got his nose broken. In the Ruiz first fight. The only ones that he's defensively been okay with was the Pulev fight, and Pulev was a one-trick pony at that fight, and maybe second with Ruiz, but that you can't really consider that because Ruiz was out of shape. Dumbass came, I don't know how many pounds heavier. It was, and AJ boxed him around in circles. So I'm talking about being defensively sound against, like, we saw that against Usyk as well. He wasn't defensively sound in the Usyk fight, getting peppered with shots that he should be blocking. You know what I mean? Even though Usyk is a pretty talented, really good boxer, that doesn't change anything about some of the shots that he got hit, because it's just his arms are wide open, and he's not. I guess I'm hoping that he has changed where he's not that open, because if you fight someone like Tyson Fury, he's just gonna get fucking countered and barely even touched up. It's similar to what the situation with Dylan White with Fury. It's gonna be the same shit. You know what I mean? And he's gonna get knocked out, unlike with Usyk, who didn't knock him out. Fury will knock him out. You know what I mean? But that's a different story. We're talking about this fight. AJ versus Franklin, and my prediction of who's gonna win this fight. And after looking at the fight with Franklin versus Dylan White, I mean, he clearly won that fight, but Franklin doesn't really have much punching power, and his chin can be broken down. I don't know if he's ever been knocked out. I don't think he has. I haven't checked his box rec. This is the first time I'm hearing about this dude, and but based on how he fought, he got hurt against Dylan White, but Dylan White barely touched him in the head. There's only a few incidences that he touched him in the head. Like clean shot touched him in the head. And Dylan White does not hit as hard as AJ does, which makes me think that Franklin does not have the chin to hold to, unlike Ruiz,
There are pending trips.
To hold up the power that AJ is going to bring. And AJ will hit him a lot more than even if it's the AJ that didn't have Derek James on his side, is gonna touch him up more than Dylan White is. And if he does touch him up pretty good, once or twice, he might take him out. And when I say take him out, not beginning of the fight, but like later on in the fight, after 6 rounds, maybe 9 or not. Well, maybe not 9. I don't know. Maybe he'll stop him. Let's just say from round 7 on round 9-ish, around that area. I feel like Franklin would survive and is the better boxer between the two, realistically, for being the shorter man. You know, whenever you're the shorter man, you can beat up on the bigger man, and which is he's gonna, you know, with the case of Dillian Whyte, you know, and he's gonna do similar to this, but with AJ, he's gonna be probably touching him up, but hopefully he has learned from Derrick James to apply the same style that Errol Spence fights. If he does that, then he might finish him in 6-7 rounds. 6 to 7 rounds, Franklin is gone. But if he still goes back to his old ways, he will finish him maybe 9 or 7 or something like that. You know what I mean? Somewhere in that area. You know, 9 to 7, 7 to 9 rounds. You know what I mean? Those are the rounds that I see him finishing off Franklin. But I would like to. I want to see this fight simply because I want to see if Derrick James made a difference with AJ. That's all. Mainly different. That the main thing that really attracts me about this fight. Other than that, I think I was saying that Franklin could beat him, but if you're looking at the fight carefully, I don't think Franklin's going to beat AJ. Franklin did win against Dillian Whyte because Dillian Whyte, you know, was too slow and less technical than this dude. End the story. But Franklin's issue is, and they compare him to Andy Ruiz. I think his hand speed is slower than Andy Ruiz, and his unpredictability of Andy Ruiz, the angles that Andy Ruiz shoots from a close in the pocket, he does not have. He's more like a Bermane Stiverne, a better version of Bermane Stiverne, the guy that fought Wilder for the title, you know, twice, and got knocked out in the second one. He's somewhere in that area, maybe a little bit better. Uses the jab better. He's got a better jab. Somewhere in that ballpark. That's where Jermaine Franklin is in this fight. In this point of his career, I would say. But AJ, yeah, that's not gonna work with AJ. Even the old AJ and hopefully new and improved AJ. You know what I mean? Even the AJ that fought Usyk, that's not gonna work against this. You know, it's probably, but he will get touched up. He will lose rounds in the beginning against this dude. He will, until this dude gets touched up by AJ, and then it's all she wrote. That's how I see this fight. I don't think he has the chin to last with AJ. But other than the fact that AJ thinks he's gonna, after this fight, he's gonna jump to fighting Tyson Fury or something like that. I don't know if that's gonna happen, bro. I really don't. You know, I hope the case with Usyk, probably giving step aside money to what's his name, Daniel Dubois, is a better thing for me to. I look at that as a better thing. Hopefully that happens, but I don't think this fight with Usyk versus Fury is gonna happen this year because of the fact the Saudis said they won't be able to provide the accommodations until December. So that's like, I think that's the main reason why, from what I heard from Frank Warren, that this fight never took place because both guys wanted huge chunks of money, and you know how much Greedy Belly wants. He wants a lot. So that was the major reason why this fight never took place. Biggest reason why this fight never took place was because of those reasons. Yeah. Ultimately, yeah, and then obviously Fury asked for 70% and etc. etc. But the funny thing about it all is that they could have found this out that the Saudis can't fucking make the fight happen in April 29th. I don't know what the hell was going on. I have no idea. I guess they tried to marinate the fight, both of them, because I mean, when you think about what was happening, Usyk was training, and then all of a sudden he left training camp. Okay, the fight with Fury ain't happening. You don't have another fight lined up. You just wasted money on training camp. You should have another fight lined up, right? You could have a Daniel Dubois lined up. No, you just left the Kiev. So it could have been just a marination thing that they try to make people believe that they're about to fight, but neither guy it really wants to fight. They're making it look like it just they want to fight. Usyk is there training maybe for other reasons, just to be sharp and all that kind of stuff. Who knows what the fuck really happened, honestly? Because that doesn't make any sense. Like, you just fucking leave training camp and just leave the Kiev, and why not get another fight assigned? Get Daniel Dubois for, like, let's say May. You know what I mean? Fuck it. May something. May 15th. Get a Daniel Dubois. No. He just left the fucking building, bro. He just left everything. He let there. He should do. There's. Anyways, the ultimate thing was because they couldn't fight at Saudi. This is what I'm coming to the conclusion. They couldn't fight at Saudi on April, and they I guess hopefully next year we're gonna see this fight. Hopefully, hopefully cross our fingers and everything. And the Saudis will both men win a couple of fights, and then let's move on to Saudi and make the fight happen, because we need to see this. We desperately need to see this fight. I mean, I won't say desperate. Just a fight at the end of the day, even though it's undisputed, whatever. We need to see this fight. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a different fight. We'll go back to Joshua Franklin situation. Yes, I want to see AJ come in like Errol Spence. Obviously, he can't do everything like Errol Spence does, but his style, his defenses, his ability to judge distance better, because AJ does know how to judge distance good, but it's not great. You know what I mean? He's got to improve. And the stamina factor, no soft touches. I'm not saying this guy soft touched his entire career, but no. Like, I'm assuming Derek James putting the training down where, to the point where, this guy is going to have the durability that the Charlos and Spence has. You know what I mean? So when they get hit, they don't get just, gun shy afterwards. You know what I mean? That's what I'm expecting from a heavy hitter like AJ to become through with Derek James. That's what I want, and that's what I'm expecting. And I'm hoping that he finishes off Franklin in 6 rounds. If he does not, it's going to be 7-9. 9 probably. You never know. Maybe 8. But like, if he shows that grit and shit, and he might even finish him even earlier than 6. You know what I mean? Within 6 rounds, as I said, within. So that's the ballpark of things. Yeah, and after this, I hope I make a video of I want to make a video of Canelo versus Benavidez, and how Canelo is going to outbox Benavidez, because Benavidez is horrible at judging distance, and Benavidez could daydream as much as he wants that he can beat Bivol and he can beat Beterbiev. But I tell you this much, I can bet on it that he will never be able to beat those guys. Not even Canelo. I can bet on Canelo too. Canelo doesn't knock him out. Canelo outboxes him. Beterbiev knocks him out. Bivol outboxes him. He has no shot with neither 3 of those guys. Neither one of them. But he's a Mexican monster. The true Mexican monster is Canelo. Okay? So let's be real. Okay? That's the true Mexican monster. The true Mexican monster is Canelo. And the true face of boxing is also Canelo. It's not. I was gonna say between Tyson Fury and him, but since Tyson Fury didn't make this fight happen and everything, I mean, Canelo has a lot of fights to be made, bro. That's gonna be banking, Benavidez, Bivol, possibly Beterbiev if he ever takes a challenge. And there's also those clowns, the Charlo, and or either one of the Charlos if they decide if the younger brother decides to move up in weight. And then, Tank Davis, the new face, dude, you haven't done shit yet, bro. You don't deserve that. I mean, you're the only reason why this fight with Ryan is making so much money is because Ryan has a huge fan base, more of a fan base than Tank does. That's the reason why. Twice as much as more fan base than Tank does, honestly. And a lot of schoolgirls. That's the plan. Anyways, that's the fan base that Ryan has. A lot of schoolgirls, a lot of them, ton of them. You know what I mean? I'm just bullshitting. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So, AJ will knock out Franklin, and hopefully within 6, and he shows me something that, some Errol Spence spice. I want to see that. You know what I mean? And if he's back to his old ways, he was gonna stop him in like 6 to 9, somewhere around that area. It's definitely not gonna reach the championship rounds, and that's all I could say about this fight. And Franklin is like Bermane Stiverne 2.0. Bermane Stiverne 2.0. That's who he is. He's a better version of him. Which is funny, right? And Wilder knocked him out, and Wilder, well, obviously the first fight was difficult. He had trouble, Wilder, but he kept dropping him. Apparently had broken his hand, and Dillian Whyte got fucked up by this Franklin that's similar to that dude. You know what I mean? But apparently Wilder's ducking Dillian Whyte. Wilder might be scared of Dillian Whyte. Sometimes guys are scared of certain fighters because I don't know for what reason. Like, I'll give you an example. John Jones was afraid of Quinton Rampage Jackson. Still beat the shit out of him. Yeah, and they choose not to fight, or because how Dillian Whyte would be thinking of himself as the A side, even though he's not a champ. That's what he was doing with Tyson Fury, asking for 40% when he really deserved 30. Honestly, just like how Usyk is getting 30, but Usyk doesn't deserve 30%. That's a whole different story. And he don't deserve 30%. He deserves 40, 35 maybe, 35 to 40. That's what he deserves, not 30. You know what I mean? I would say 40 at best, because the fan base, as much as some people believe, Tyson Fury's fan base is better than Usyk's. I'll give you an example why. Usyk does not have a huge fan base in the United States. Tyson Fury does. And he also has it in Europe. And he also has it in England. Get the drift? You understand now? You know what I mean? This is why. But that's a different story. Let's just stick to the fact that the day after tomorrow, on Saturday, we hope we see a better AJ, and who knows if he's good enough. Maybe he needs another tune-up fight to really hone his skills after Franklin, which hopefully it's not Dillian Whyte, because he's gonna knock him out too if he knocks this dude out. We will go ahead and see a Fury versus AJ fight, which I don't think is gonna happen because AJ is just too scared. Even Wilder's there. I guarantee you ain't fighting Wilder neither. And the excuse is always going to be, the fans on one side is going to say, oh, because AJ is not ducking, they're ducking, and the Fury fans are going to say, oh, because AJ is ducking. Bro, I guarantee you on this factor, with Usyk, it was Fury was the problem. But when it comes down to AJ fighting Fury, it's AJ the problem. I guarantee you. And then AJ with Wilder. AJ the problem. If Usyk some way ends up fighting Wilder, then what? Then what people are going to say? That's what I want to see too. I want to see Wilder versus Usyk. Man, there's so many good fights to be made. I favor Wilder, honestly, with Usyk. You'd be surprised. Yeah, people will be surprised. Oh, the boxing skills and this. The best boxer doesn't always win the fight. And we just saw that last week with Benavidez versus Plant. Plant was the better boxer. Plant knew how to judge the distance better. Plant hit the kitchen sink on this dude. But the iron chin of Benavidez, because he does have an iron chin. His feet are not that fucking good because, you know, he can't, he's a flat-footed motherfucker. That's why he does not have no knockdowns on his record. He has a knockdown on his record where he's got knocked down once, you know what I mean, because of his feet. But he hasn't, and he won just off of that. And it was a close fight. He did not dominate. He dominated the later championship fights. He did not dominate. It was a close fight. And if Plant happened to win the last 2 rounds or something like that, it was a fucking Plant fight. Maybe they pull that as a draw, but it was a Plant fight. Plant would have won that. Anyways, Benavidez has no shot against Canelo and the other two. Petr Bivol. He does not. He does not have a shot against those guys. He can wish, he can dream, but he doesn't. Because he's horrible at judging distance. Anyways, reaching in from round 1 to 6. It's ridiculous. So, I'm done talking. I think that's the period. And hopefully you guys have your periods as well. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm done talking. This is the Gypsy. Alza.